Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Sri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra Mai. Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परिहंस आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शीला प्रभुपाद की, इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य शीला प्रभुपाद की, नामाचार्य शीला हरिदास ठाकुर की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So welcome to the morning Bhagavatam class. Today we are reciting the verse from Canto 3, chapter 27, Understanding Material Nature, and the word text number 11. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 11. Please repeat with me. Muktalingam sad abhasam asati pratipadayate sato bandhum asacchakshu sarvanushyutamad advayam. Muktalingam sad abhasam asati pratipadyate sato bandhum asacchakshu sarvanushyutamadvayam. Muktalingam sad abhasam asati pratipadyate sato bandhum asacchakshu sarvanushyutamadvayam. Muktalingam sadabhasam asati pratipadyate sato bandhum asacchakshu sarvanushyumadvayam. Muktalingam sadabhasam asati Muktalingam sad abhasam asati pratipadyate sato bandhum asacchakshu sarvanushyutamadvayam. Mataji, want to try? Muktalingam sadabhasam asati pratipadayate sato bandhum asacchakshu sarvanushyutamadvayam. So, what to what meaning? Muktalingam, transcendental. Sad abhasam, manifest as reflection. Asati, in the false ego. Pratipadyate, he realizes. Sat bandhum, the support of the material cause. Asat chakshu, the eye, revealer of the illusory energy. Sarvanushyutam, entered into everything. Advayam, without a second. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please repeat with me. A liberated soul realizes the absolute personality of Godhead, who is transcendental and who is a manifest as a reflection even in the false ego. He is the support of material cause. And he enters into everything. He is absolute, one without a second. And he is the eyes of the illusory energy. Purport. A pure devotee can see the presence of Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything materially manifested. He is present there only as a reflection. But pure devotee can realize that in the darkness of material illusion, the only light is the Supreme Lord, who is its support. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that the background of the material manifestation is Lord Krishna. And as confirmed in Brahma Samhita, Krishna is the cause of all causes. Brahma Samhita is stated that the Supreme Lord, by his partial plenary expansion, is present not only within the universe and each and every universe, but in every atom, although he is one without second. The word Advayam, without a second, which is used in this verse, indicates that although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is represented in everything, including the atoms, he is not divided. His presence in everything is explained in the next verse. Let's do Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So once again, welcome to this morning Bhagavatam class, and we are reciting the verse text 11 from Canto 3, chapter 27, Understanding the Material Universe. So we are continuing the same chapter, Understanding the Material Universe. So by understanding this material nature, so what we can say is there are many benefits, many useful things are there by understanding the material nature. One such thing is the reason for this disturbance caused in this material world. Like same question, Devahuti was also asking Kapila Muni, please explain these senses are causing so much disturbance, fed up with this material disturbance. Please enlighten me how we can get out of these material disturbances, right? So everyone in this material will have to undergo these disturbances. So in relation to Devahuti's conversation, Kardama Muni started explaining Sankhya philosophy, which started explaining how this material world is created. So he explained how this material universe is created, what are the key ingredients, and by understanding this material creation, we understand the reason for our sufferings and disturbances. So we discussed lengthy, so many days we discussed about the creation. We are not going into the details of the topic, but the key elements, material elements are there, which are created under false ego. And so when whoever is entered into this material world, obviously he will having the same qualities. So in this material world, once the material creation is explained in today's the current chapter, Understanding the Material Nature, Kapila Muni was explaining living entity's position. Like as soon as the living entity entered into this material universe, the default position is he will start enjoying this material world. So that is his position. The reason is because of the false ego. Because of false ego, he is understanding himself as a body, not as a spirit soul. And whatever is related to this body, he is taking it as a proprietor. He is the controller. He is the enjoyer of this spiritual body. And he will do all the activities. These are all the things covered in the last few verses. Like in all the, he will be enjoying, and whatever he do, all the faulty works. Like it was mentioned in one of the translations, right? So why it is faulty work? Because it's not related to Krishna. So in the sense gratification, he tries to do so many activities. And because of that, he will be traveling into different planets in this material world. He will be taking repeated birth and death, and he is traveling into multiple planets based on his karma. That is what the faulty work, right? So that is what Kapila Muni explained. And other option also he mentioned in the previous verses. If you see, this is the one option, the default option. Other option is you have to come out of this material world. What is the option he mentioned? The bhakti. There are two processes he mentioned. One is direct process, other one is indirect process. Direct process is bhakti, and the indirect process he mentioned in the last week we discussed the yoga system. Dhyana yoga, where you will speculate about the Supreme Lord, or the Jnana yoga, that is where you speculate about Supreme Lord, or Dhyana yoga, where you perform Ashtanga yoga and try to realize. In Jnana yoga, you will try to understand the impersonal feature of Supreme Lord. Where it is Dhyana yoga, you understand the super soul. Realization. So, but these are not full. But what Kapila Muni was saying, and Prabhupada was also explaining in the previous verses, like the last previous verses, though the Dhyana yogas and Jnana yoga are there, but it will not bring you to the platform of devotion. Again, you need to get into the touch with the devotees. That's why these are called indirect process. And in subsequent verses in the same chapter, Kapila Muni was explaining, so you need to eat whatever is required, how much ever is required, you need to eat. And you should not over and over for earning money, right? And you need to sit in a secluded place and perform devotion. These are the various activities he was specifying as part of devotion. And I think we, in Ishopanishad also, we like everyone will have their quota, and you have to use what you have to be satisfied with whatever allocated as per your destination. And right, the same thing Kapila Muni was also explaining. Everyone will have to be satisfied whatever they get as per their destiny. Right, same thing. So in this way, you will be doing this bhakti, and the bhakti, you will be continuing in the bhakti. Once after you reach a perfectional stage in the bhakti, then you will be understanding the Krishna in full. That is where, once you continue doing the devotional service, like whatever prescribed in the whatever Kapila Muni mentioned, and on top of that we know the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, all the complete devotional process we practice regularly, then once you reach a perfection stage, then you will be understanding Krishna in full. That is what in today's verse Kapila Muni was explaining. When you understand Krishna in full, that is what knowing the absolute truth. And this is the question even Devahuti was asking in the previous verses. When Kapila Muni was explaining we have to do the devotion to the Supreme Lord, then she asked, oh, I want to understand the Supreme Lord in full, because some people understand only in Parabrahman level, impersonal Brahman. Some people will understand a super soul. But Devahuti was telling that she wanted to understand the Supreme Lord in full, the absolute truth. So that is where now Kapila Muni was explaining. When you complete sincerely doing the devotional service, when you reach the perfection of the devotion, then you will be able to understand the absolute truth. So in today's verse, that's what the Kapila Muni was explaining. If you read, once you perfection stage is reached, when you start knowing the Krishna in full, then what you will see, that's what if you read the translation, a liberated soul realizes the absolute personality of Godhead, who is transcendental, who is manifest as a reflection even in the false ego. He is the support of material cause, and he enters into everything. He is absolute, one without a second, and he is the eyes of illusory energy. So these are all the things you will realize when you perform a devotion. You will see that everything you see in connection to Krishna. Everywhere you will be seeing Krishna. Even if yesterday Baba Prabhu was also explaining, right? This mic is there. This we'll see, okay, this is Krishna's temple mic, Radha Gopinath's mic, right? So whatever we are seeing, everything property belongs to Radha Gopinath. So we see everything is in relation to Krishna. That is what the absolute, when we understand the Krishna in full, you will feel that everything is, you have started seeing everything in Krishna. And one more example also, yesterday Prabhu was covering, it was very nice, and I thought we will recollect that as well. Like this was the conversation between Srila Prabhupada and his disciple. And Srila Prabhupada was asking his disciple, by seeing his shoes, what you will remember. Then the disciple was telling, by seeing Srila Prabhupada's shoes, he will obviously will remember Srila Prabhupada. And by seeing glasses, what you will remember? You will remember Srila Prabhupada. Similarly, when we understand Krishna in full, with absolute truth is fully known, then we all will be thinking, everyone will be seeing the Krishna. Everywhere, everything is connected to Krishna. That would be our realization. Now, next thing is then understanding the absolute truth, the process also. So today we try to focus more on once this understanding the absolute truth, as well as those who devotees, the senior, the great devotees from the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, we see those who understand the so absolute truth, how they exhibit through their prayers, through their glorifications, we try to see their realizations, how they feel, how they see everything in connection with Krishna, that also we see. But before diving into that, we try to see the absolute process, like why first of all, why need to understand absolute truth? That's absolute truth is Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? We know we are in this conditioned world, and the idea is to go back to Godhead. It means we have to go to the spiritual abode. Who is there? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the absolute truth, right? When you are trying to go to someone's place, you should know what is he doing, right? Then you know everything in clear, then you will be able to serve him better. After all, we are going there to serve Krishna, serve Supreme Lord. And when you know fully, then you will be able to serve him in a right way. With off knowledge, without knowing, you will not get entrance first of all. Right? So you need to know everything in full, then only you will be able to get the entrance to his abode, spiritual planet, then you will be able to serve him nicely. Because we know previously, we were there in the spiritual world, but by our desire, we came down to material world. And this material world, we started involved in so many activities, and we forgot everything. And now, with this devotion process, we are trying to recollect everything and we regain our knowledge, so that when we go back to Krishna, we will be able to serve him nicely. Now, understanding the absolute truth, we can also see the material example, how we can understand. Suppose you want to know about a particular person, right? So, in the current digital age, we have social media. If you want to know about a particular person, you don't know anything about him, you go to his Facebook page, or you will see how he is looking like, and what are his activities, what kind of post he is putting, and how he is responding to others. Or you will go to his LinkedIn profile or Twitter, you will see what is professional background, or is any other things, right? So then you will get some information. And then that is not be full information. Then you will try to go associate with his close friends, so that you try to get some information from him about them, about the person about whom you are trying to ask. So you go to his friends, and through friends you will get some details. And then what will happen? That is also through friends also you will get minimal information. Then you will go to his close friend, family members, right? So you step by step, you try to find everywhere some details. And if you are not satisfied, okay, family members also give little bit some information. Then, okay, it's not, this process is not fully getting information. Then what you will do? You will try to contact that person directly, right? You will ask his time, what time you are available, when can I come? Then he gives particular time and date. Then you go to him. Then as soon as you ask, will he give you the details? You don't know, that person don't know anything about you, right? You have to simply give me your personal details, date of birth and what all things. If you ask, he won't give you. What you have to give? You have the person who is asking the details, he should create a confidence with him, right? Right? Yeah, he is a genuine person. He is looking for the right information. Then the opposite person will realize, okay, he will get some. When he gets confidence, then he will share information. Right? Otherwise, simply go and ask. Nobody will. It's a data protection is very important in the current age. Right? You cannot share the data, whatever personal information. Everything is very, very confidential, and it's a strict laws are there. Right? So anybody can misuse. So the person who is giving the information sharing the information, he should feel comfortable, he should feel satisfied, then only he will be able to give the data, to share the information with the person, right? This is the process we follow in the material world. Now, understanding absolute truth, Krishna, is also, it's the same process. We follow exactly in the similar way. When some people will think that, okay, by doing the yoga, I will understand Krishna. Yes, they will understand. So they follow the Jnana Yoga path, and they say they will only understand part of the Krishna's information, which is impersonal Brahman, Brahma Jyoti level. And some devotees think that, okay, I will do Jnana Yoga, and then he will think that, okay, I will understand. They will understand only the super soul aspect of Krishna. But these are the only partial information. He is not getting full. But some, by mercy of some devotees, he will come into the path of devotion. He slowly will come to the temple, and he will be associating with the devotees, and the devotees will tell him that, okay, do chanting. Then he will start doing gradually he will start doing chanting. Then he will come to the attending temple every day. After few months or few days, when he start doing chanting, rounds will be increased. Then he will get to know that some Bhagavad Gita discourses are happening in the temple. Then he will come and join right? The process is gradual. He is trying to know Krishna when the process is like this. We all followed the same approach. We all are here, sitting here, through that process only. We came through that process. Right? So then you will understand that Bhagavad Gita. Then from there you will understand we are not the body, we are the soul. Supreme Lord is Krishna, is the super soul. Right? As we continue discussing, you will understand in Bhagavad Gita we have various aspects. So Ishvara, Prakriti, Kandral, Jiva, Kala, Karma. So where these things, some little bit he will be having an idea. He will trying to understand this material world. And then when he gets into the associating with the more senior devotees, more Vaishnavas or more sannyasis, then he will start associating with the Srimad Bhagavatam. Like as the devotion is continuing steadily, you will try to know about Krishna, where he lives. He is in Goloka, and there are various incarnations of Krishna. Right? For each of the incarnation, there are different planets in the spiritual world. And then Krishna will have the various energies, and through energies, he is creating various things in this material world. Right? These all things gradually, step by step, you will be knowing, right? As your devotion is steady, as you are progressing seriously, then you will get more and more this detailed information, knowledge from our scriptures. Then your faith will be increased, and your conviction will be increasing. Then you believing that, so right beginning, you don't have any idea, very minimal idea about Krishna, and you entered in the temple. But the steady devotion process of what we discussing, right? So at the end, you will reach the perfection stage. But then you keep on doing the devotion service to Krishna, then you will be knowing more and more. As you get more and more knowledge, your conviction and your faith will be increased. Then Krishna will be satisfied with your rate. Yes, he is very serious, he is putting the effort, and he will try to share the details. Like finally, like when we say, like in the material example, the person can give about him more details than anyone else. Similarly, Krishna has to give the details to anyone, the knowledge about him, right? Through other scriptures, disables and anything we will get. But finally, Krishna reveals, he is based on your effort, how sincere you are. He will see in your devotional activities. Then finally, Krishna reveals himself. So, see, this is like when you realize that Krishna shares the information, then you will have you will be reaching the perfections, the final stages of your devotion. Then you will see everything Krishna. See, this is not all speculation. This is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita as well, right? If you see the 10th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, Chatusloki, one of the Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogantam ye namami upayantite. Dadami buddhi yogantam. I give the buddhi, the intelligence, when those who are constantly performing devotional service. This is what Krishna himself is saying. So whatever the process we discussed, finally Krishna is saying that I will give this information, I give the knowledge, so that Dadami buddhi yogantam. I give that intelligence based on your devotion. So that is how Krishna reveals himself. Then when he reveals himself, you understand properly, and then you will see everything in connection with Krishna. So this is it's not a speculation that okay, Krishna will reveal it. It's the evidence is there, scriptural reference is there. Krishna is giving us the information that the yeyatamam prapajante tams tataiva bhajamhyam. According to the level of devotion, he will give the knowledge. So the more you are sincerely working, seriously working, that level, in that proportion, you will realize Krishna. Not only that, Krishna is directly telling in Bhagavad Gita as well. Right? Rasoham apsukauntaya prabhasha surya pranava sarva vedeshu shabdake paurusham nushu. Right? I am the taste of water. So Krishna is telling that you can see me everywhere. In that context, he was saying that I am the taste of water. I am the light of sun and moon. I am syllable in the Omkara. And I am the sound in ether. And ability in man. So these are all things you can see Krishna in the day. Right? This is what Krishna is saying. How we can see him in the day to day, in a connecting to, how we can see everything in relation to Krishna. Now, as I mentioned, this is how we can understand the absolute truth. This part we discussed so far, how we can really understand the absolute truth. When we know the understand of absolute truth, we see everything in relation to Krishna. So, and the next aspect I wanted to discuss in today's verses, see, many devotees, we have the many evidences from scriptures where people, the devotees, they perform the devotion, they reached the topmost devotional stage, and then understood the absolute truth, and then they offered many prayers. They offered many glorifications. When we see their glorifications, and then we can understand how they are seeing everything in relation to Krishna. Like if you see Mahabharata, we have many devotee characters, the personalities there in the Mahabharata. Like we have Bhishma, Kunti Maharani, Arjuna, Pandavas, right? That is one side of us, all the Vidura. These are all devotees. On the other side, we have Duryodhan, Dhritarashtra, all the Kauravas, Karna, right? Krishna is there for both all the people. But these Kauravas, Duryodhana, they are not able to enjoy by seeing Krishna. Whereas the Arjuna, Kunti Maharani, Bhishma Dev, Vidura, they are very happy. They were very attracted to Krishna. See, the Krishna is there. That's why the one is devotees, pure devotees. How they are seeing Krishna. And other side, they are Duryodhan, other people. Even the Krishna is there in front. No, they are not able to see him as a God. So, after seeing Krishna, that's what even we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, we have Kunti Maharani prayers. By understanding Krishna in full, she offered all her prayers. And Bhishma's prayers are there. And Arjuna, he is the dearmost devotee of the Lord. Bhagavad Gita itself spoken by Krishna to Arjuna. Right? So, there are various instances. And like if you see one reference I would like to quote here from this is from the Kunti Maharani prayers. Then she was also great devotee of the Lord, right? So how she is offering in her prayers, we can see how she is everything in relation to Krishna, we can understand. This is the text 1840. I read only the translation. All the cities and villages are flourishing in respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits. The rivers are flowing. The hills are full of minerals and the ocean full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. So, in the Hastinapur, before this, the Kunti Maharani offered prayers when Krishna was leaving from Hastinapur to Dwaraka. After Mahabharata battle is finished, everything is done. Yudhishthira became king, emperor. So, after that, the Krishna was leaving. Then, at that time, Kunti Maharani was offering prayers, and she is explaining how this kingdom is flourishing. Everything is in enough sufficient quantities of food, grains are there. Everything is nice and rich. So how this is happening? It's because of Krishna's glance. So whatever is happening in their kingdom, everything is mercy of Krishna. So that is her realization. So that when you understand Krishna in full, that is the example of how we can see how they see everything in relation to Krishna. And we can also take the example of Brahma. Right. So when we in the previous classes also we discussed about the Brahmas, right? When Garbhodakashayi entered into the universe, and from their body Brahma came, and he was top of the lotus flower. He was trying to see how he came, what he has to do. On his own, he was trying to identify the reason for his existence, but he was unable to find any reason. But after he got a word tapa, then he started performing the devotion and austerities, right? After thousand years, I remember correctly, 1,000 years of tapasya, devotion, then he was able to realize Vishnu, Supreme Personality of God, Krishna. He was able to understand everything. He was able to see Krishna, from the Garbhodakashai Vishnu, everything, Vishnu in four-handed form, and he understood everything in relation to this universe creation, and he started creating the universe, right? Then he offered the prayers, right? Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karana. So after realizing this knowledge through Vishnu, he started offering prayers. That is what we see in Brahma Samhita, right? The verse Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karana. Sarvakarana Karana. That is where he is seeing everything in relation to Krishna. Everything is happening in this material world is because of Krishna is the cause. Right? So that is how he is seeing the Krishna in relation to everything. And not only that, another verse from the Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Chulita Bhakti Vilochanena Santas Sadeva Hrudeshu Vilokayanti, right? So when during the neophyte stage, devotee will have a very little devotion. And but as he continuing in the devotion, when you reach the bhava stage of the devotion, then his eyes will be filled with love and devotion. Then he will be able to understand Krishna. He will be able to see Krishna, the Supreme Lord, face to face. So this is why the players pray, the Brahma offered prayers where he is seeing everything in relation to Krishna. And we can also see examples of Prahlad Maharaj. Right? Prahlad, from the childhood, Prahlad Maharaj was a great devotee. He was always meditating and chanting the holy name. But his father, Hiranyakashipu, is atheist. He is a demon. Right? He was keep on harassing him, troubling him, right, to stop chanting Krishna or the Supreme Lord's holy name. But Prahlad continued, and at one stage finally he was about to kill him. The Hiranyakashipu was about to kill Prahlad, and then Prahlad was able to say Vishnu is coming, he is there everywhere. But then Hiranyakashipu asked, show me where is the Krishna, your Hari, Vishnu. Is he in the pillar? Then Prahlad said yes. Then he broke the pillar, Narsingadev came, right? So here what we are trying to see, Prahlad Maharaj, he is also seeing everywhere Supreme Lord Krishna. He is connecting everything with Krishna. He said in the pillar he is there, then Narsingadev came out of the pillar, right? So this is how the devotees, when we ascend the topmost stage of devotee, when you reach the stage, you will realize everything in relation to Krishna. And Arjuna also see the universal. So all this, like the realization, the great people, same thing was mentioned in Kapila Muni as well, right? In this translation and purport. And in Arjuna also saw the universal form. And in the 11th chapter, there was a verse like in the 1139, it is mentioned, the translation is, you are air, you are the supreme controller, you are fire, you are water, you are the moon, you are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectable obeisance unto you 1,000 times again and again, yet again. Right? This is how Arjuna, after seeing the universal form, he was able to see Krishna in everything. So, and we saw now so far we saw the examples of the devotees who realized the absolute truth from the scriptures. But in our beloved Srila Prabhupada also, we can see some examples. Like Srila Prabhupada also, he was talking about Charlie Chaplin. And he was he was laughing by seeing his acting, the comedy. Prabhupada was laughing. Generally, he doesn't see any movies, but in childhood, I think he used to watch the Charlie Chaplin things. But by seeing the Charlie Chaplin humor, Prabhupada was saying, Charlie Chaplin's humor is original. And all original is coming from Krishna. All original things are coming from Krishna. So by saying Charlie Chaplin also, Srila Prabhupada is connecting Krishna. So he's not saying materially with the sense enjoyment, but he's connecting even the humor, the acting which was done by Charlie Chaplin also. Prabhupada is connecting with Krishna. He's saying that Krishna is the origin of that skill, whatever Charlie Chaplin exhibiting. That is how he's connecting Krishna. Not only that, there was one more pastime where one devotee, like the one brahmachari, was waiting in the airport to receive Srila Prabhupada. And he was playing Mridanga. He was waiting for the Prabhupada to arrive. And the devotees are there. The brahmachari is waiting and he was playing Mridanga. Suddenly, from the door, he thought Prabhupada was coming, but one air hostess came first. Then the brahmachari started looking towards air hostess. And then immediately after some time, the Prabhupada came. Then Prabhupada saw this. Okay, are you looking at the air hostess? Then he was not able to deny, yes. So she is beautiful, right? Then Prabhupada said, then this brahmachari, yes. So if the Krishna's creator is so beautiful, you can think of how Krishna is beautiful. How beautiful Krishna is. Like that is how Prabhupada is seeing everything in relation to Krishna. So this is the example. And the last one more story, I think with a story I would like to conclude this discussion. We all know the pastime of Brahman and cobbler, right? In that pastime, if you see, one day Narada Muni came to this material planet, and he was going through that. Then one Brahmana, he was a very educated Brahmana. He reads all scriptures, everything. So the Brahmana was asking, so Narada Muni, you go to all the places, you visit Vishnu, Supreme Lord as well, planet of Vaikuntha as well, right? So can you ask Vishnu, Supreme Lord, when will finish my activity, like my life in a earth planet, when will I go back to his abode? Then, okay, so Narada told, yes, I will find it. Then, while he's passing through, one cobbler also there. He was also asking Narada Muni, when you see Supreme Lord, can you ask him in which life I will be coming back to his abode? So then Narada Muni went to Supreme Lord's abode, and then same question he put forward to the Supreme Lord. And then Supreme Lord told, the cobbler will come in this lifetime, he will not get birth in the material world again, but Brahmana will need more lifetimes. We don't know in which lifetime he will. Then Narada Muni shocked, because the Brahmana is a very learned person, scholar. So how come this cobbler is uneducated? Then he told, Vishnu told that when you go there, they will ask you what Vishnu is doing, because when they go back, Narada Muni goes to the earth planet, and they will definitely ask. Then they may not believe. Then they will ask the question like what Vishnu is doing. Then so Vishnu is preparing Narada. Vishnu is telling Narada that okay, when they ask you what Vishnu is doing, then you tell that Vishnu is trying to send an elephant through eye of a needle. Right? So he's trying to send an elephant through eye of a needle. That's what you tell. Then Narada Muni came back to the earth planet. Then he went to Brahmana. Then Brahmana was asking, okay, did you inquire with Vishnu Supreme Lord, when will finish my life in this earth and will go back to abode? Then Narada told, okay, it will not this lifetime, it will take more lifetimes. Then Brahmana, he could not believe. Then he was asking what Vishnu was doing when you were there. Then Narada was telling, he's trying to send an elephant through the eye of a needle. Then Brahmana said, no, how can you are not telling lies. How can a person can send a big elephant through eye of a needle? No, this is not correct. You didn't ask properly. You didn't go through Vishnu. Then the Brahmana was telling. Then he went to cobbler. And the cobbler was asked the same question. Then Narada told, you say like you will be finishing in this lifetime, you will going back to abode. But then he was asking what Vishnu was Supreme Lord is doing. Then he said, okay, he is trying to send an elephant through eye of a needle. Then cobbler said, oh, Lord can do anything. He is everything. He can do everything is possible, Lord, so he can do anything. Then he started glorifying Vishnu. Then Narada asked, why you are not, why you are believing that the Lord Vishnu is trying to send a elephant through eye of a needle? Then you are saying that Krishna is the supreme Lord, he can do anything, right? So that is how the conviction, people, that kind of conviction and that kind of devotion also, we should also develop. That will come through only our proper devotion. When we continue in our devotion steadily, properly, then we will be able to understand Krishna in full. Then we will not bewilder with these things. When we and say, when like people will say, when in Bhagavatam we read Krishna killed Putana when he was 6 days old. Then people, oh, 6 days old baby, we can imagine he can't. Then with our material things we see. But when you think that Krishna is Supreme Lord, anything is possible, then you will understand. That conviction, that faith will be developed only through our devotion. So then when we do that devotion sincerely, we will understand Krishna, everything improperly, and we will not bewilder with these things. So I will conclude here. Any comments? So see, like the false ego is, see, like everything, this is part of the false ego. Like in a previous chapter we discussed how the, in the previous chapter during the material creation, we write all the material elements are created. So how Supreme Personality of Vishnu glancing the material nature pradhana, from this all the elements are created, right? So all the elements are coming through Krishna only. Through his energy, these elements being created. Right? So it's coming, so that's why we can say Krishna is there, everything, everywhere. So these are his elements, it's coming through his energy. There is no difference between energy and the source of energy, Krishna in relation, right? So all the elements are coming from Krishna himself, these material elements, from his energy. In that context, we can see that, yes, that is. And one more, he is without a second. That is also important, right? So what it means is, no one is above him, no one is equal to him. That is how we need to understand. The Supreme Lord Krishna is, no one is above him, no one is equal to him. Everyone is below him. Right? No one is superior than Krishna. That's how we can understand. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Very nice class.
Thank you.
So the example you gave, that was a very nice example of Narmani, Kaur and Brahma. So I'm just digging into it. Is that example like taken out from some Sastric Vedic literature, or any like reference of that example?
In relation to faith?
Yeah.
He's asking me about it.
Is that from like coming from some Shastra, or just asking
This story pastime is you are referring? Yeah, we hear many times, but not sure, Prabhu, from where it was extracted. But yeah, but this is but at least it gives us the strength to believe the progress in our life, devotion. Yeah. Okay. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.